What is up, players? It's Warboss Tay up in this mug. I got a Cadian Defense Force here, 2 Rogal Dorn tanks, 20 Cadian Shock Troops, so 2 squads of 10, and a Cadian Command Squad. Now, I would not suggest getting this at the full retail price if you can pick one up on Amazon. I've got an affiliate link that should take you to a vendor that can sell it to you for hopefully not as much as you would be getting charged if you were to walk into a store and pick one up. But this is a great value box when you consider that the Rogal Dorn tanks themselves are already like $100 each retail. And then you consider that the new squads of 10 Cadian Shock Troopers, each one of those costs about $40 or $50. I'm not sure. I don't have the Games Workshop website pulled up in front of me. And then the Command Squad is another $30 or $40. So I've already done the Command Squad and the Cadian Shock Troopers from my July painting challenge last year. So these are the new Cadian Shock Trooper models in the refurbished line that has more details. They're known in the circles, the Astra Militarum circles, as the knee pad Cadians, because the old Cadian Shock Troopers were a little chunkier, a little puffier, bulkier, and they did not have the knee pads, which are pretty divisive as a design element. Now, going into the why of the Cadian Shock Troops, I think an interesting pivot on Games Workshop's part would have been if they had not abandoned the Cadians, but maybe just not made them the main focus of the Astra Militarum, like the poster boys. I think with the fall of Cadia, narratively, with the loss of Ursarkar Creed and Old Baali, Commissar Yarrick, the Astra Militarum took a pretty grievous blow recently, in the fluff at least, losing the Cadia, the planet of Cadia, and just being decimated on all fronts. It would have been an interesting way for Games Workshop to pivot and create new sculpts for their Astra Militarum units, possibly with more greatcoats. Like when you look at the officer in the Cadian Command Squad, he's wearing, or she, depending if you want to build them as a male or a female, a greatcoat over their uniform. And I think that would have been a good basis for building out a new kind of modular kit that you could use to represent Vostroyans. Like so many Astra Militarum troops have greatcoats. Valhallans, Vostroyans, the Death Corps of Krieg. You could have made some kind of kit with the ability to interchange some parts. Mordians, you could have them. It would have been an interesting way to let the Cadians relax a little bit and not have them be so much of the workhorse of the Astra Militarum. But that's neither here nor there. That's more of a design element that I think would have been. It would have been like upgrading the Firstborn Space Marines to Primaris. You give the Astra Militarum some new sculpts and then let people, especially those of us Imperial Guard players with, bins of Vostroyans and Mordians and Valhallans, just collecting dust, because what are you going to do with one box, one squad of metal Vostroyans or metal Valhallans? Everybody's got these, blobs of Cadian Shock Troopers. Anyways, rant over. The Rogal Dorn is what I was really interested in because there are so many details on it that I want to build out. I found a couple of optimal loads that I think are going to be fun to build. I always want to, now that I'm selling a lot of what I work on eBay, I'm looking for things that can be interesting to potential buyers in the current meta. And the current meta is always changing because the times, they're always changing. But if you know how you would run your Rogal Dorn tank, I've been looking at the subreddits for the Astra Militarum on Reddit to see what people think. I've been looking at other videos and other forums. But if you found a way that you would run a Rogal Dorn tank that you like the best, let me know. And I will try to build mine up to those specs. I just think they look so great. The Rogal Dorn tank with all of the added armor plates, the side sponsons, and this right here is my favorite part. all the stowage, the extra details, the things that make the Rogal Dorn tank not human, but the things that make them feel like they're crewed by humans. That the tank crews are all regular people that are like fighting on the fly. They're not like Space Marines where they're like really cold and logical and have a disconnected logic and intelligence when they're putting this. This basically looks like the Rogal Dorn tanks are a bunch of humans that have thrown and chucked a bunch of extra stowage and stuff onto their tank because they never knew what they're going to run up against. This is the part of the instructions with all of the optional looking weapons that you can build. Yeah, I think the value is definitely here. If you're going to be able to get one of these and you don't have any Rogal Dorn tanks and you're interested in building them up. But if you've already collected a Cadian stands box, if you've already got the Combat Patrol box, the Combat Patrol honestly is just as good because you've got the wide variety of, you also got a Sentinel in there, you've got the 2 field ordnance guns, and then you've got the same amount of infantry and the same types of infantry that this box has. 2 squads of 10 Cadian shock troops and the command squad. So the value, I think, is here money-wise just because of those 2 Rogal Dorn tanks. They're so expensive, points-wise as well as dollar-wise. But definitely if you're thinking of actually building out a Cadian or an Astra Militarum force, then I would actually go with maybe getting this after you get 2 Combat Patrol boxes. Get 2 Combat Patrol boxes, so you've got all of the guns, you've got all of the bodies of the infantry, and then you've got the Sentinels. Then you can build it out with expanding your force, maybe by getting some Attilan Rough Riders, a Commissar, maybe some of those big boy Ogrins, and then once you've got, of course, your standard Chimeras and Legion Rust tanks, then get one of these big, heavy, high-ticket items of the Rogal Dorn tanks. All right, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'm very excited to dive into these. And the last thing I wanted to look at were these transfer sheets, because I did get to play around with the transfer sheets in my summer painting challenge last year. But the vehicle transfer sheet is what really interested me, because it's the new vehicle transfer sheet with all of the different names of the different regiments. And it has all of these have some interesting graffiti, like Cadia stands, Wrath of Creed, things that kind of reflect what's been going on in the narrative of the 40K universe as regards to the Astra Militarum. Really interesting stuff. So you can build your tanks out to look like they're from Talarn or Mordia or Krieg or Valhalla. And Cadia is not right at the very forefront anymore. Like, look at those V's for the Valhallan firstborn, or Vestroyan firstborn, rather. It's good to see there's so much representation of the different regiments. That's good. I wish they had that kind of presence in the infantry, is all I'm saying. All right, players, an exciting project I've got coming down the pike is a painting journal. It's going to keep track of all of your work. I've designed it myself. I'm super proud of it. If you want to check it out, I've put a link below in the description, and I'll shoot a video talking about that and how to use it to the best of your advantage in the coming days. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the Discord, and we'll see you in the chat. Don't forget to hit the like button before you go. Latest, players.